Hey y'all, how you doing? So I'm back. So I thought I would do a quick tutorial because a number of you guys have requested that I show you how I actually collage and work with the Gelli Prints when it comes to some of my finished art pieces. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you using some of the Gelli Prints that we made on the last session with the onion skin. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to work with those. Now here again, when I'm in my studio working, like I'm working on a lot of projects at one time, because the way I seem to work as an artist is that the more I'm working and looking around and working with materials, more ideas come to me. And so I'm pulling from a lot of different directions. And also, sometimes I'll do a piece and let it sit, and then something else will pop in my mind, or I'm working on something else and I'll add to it. So this video, I'm just going to show you the basics of it. It probably won't be finished because if I know me, there's other stuff I'm going to want to do to it. But at least I'll show you the glues that I'm using, and I'll show you how you can actually take your Gelli Prints to the next level in your art to actually create like nice finished pieces of art that are archival, that have the complexities to it that you may want with regards to your ideas, how you can use other materials and various things that you want to put together with your Gelli Prints. Okay, so let's start off by showing you what I'm going to use. So today, primarily, I'm going to use the Yes paste. I haven't really used this a lot. I hear a lot of people talking about they like it. A number of collage artists that sell their work and have been selling it for years really ride and die by this Yes paste. It is acid free, so I like that. Because anything to be archival and not to yellow, not to start falling apart on you or getting crumbly over time, you want it to be archival. So you want it to be acid free, which is important. This is acid free, and also this one, Nori, is a different brand and it's acid free. So I had found this locally and I wanted to try it, and actually I liked it. I liked the way it worked. And then I went on Amazon and ordered this because this big jar on Amazon was like $10. But in my local art supply store, like at Blick, I think it was like $24.95. I was like, whoa. I mean, I have Amazon Prime because I order just about everything from Amazon, because when I'm working in the studio or working on various projects here, the time it takes to go, and if you're anything like me, if I go out and start bumping around, I'm going to hit here, I'm going to do it there, I'm going to see this is going to happen, and a half an hour will turn into 4 hours, and a $10 run will turn into a $200 expenditure, because I'll see this and I'll see that, and like it's just crazy. So I really get distracted when I go out and start shopping. So that's why I love Amazon, because I can just jump on the computer, find what I want, order it. And with Amazon Prime, sometimes some years I'll get cheap and say, oh, that Amazon Prime, I'm tired of taking $99 out of my account, but it's only once a year. And but the convenience of it and not to have to pay shipping really is really worth it. Because I think I ordered this stuff just like 2 days ago, and everything came. It was last week, and I got everything yesterday. So yes, so we'll try this. What I have been using in the past for many years is this. It's PVA Jade glue. I've gotten it from Bookmakers in Maryland, and this, I've had this for so long, I don't even know if Bookmakers is still around, to be honest with you. So if you look them up, if you want to try this, this is who they are, and if they're still around, they're really good. But I mean, I've had this gallon jug for years, and you see it's all dirty and stuff. I use it all the time. I mean, I'm using this glue all the time. So it really is lasting. Now, I think a jug of it is like maybe close to $100, but it really does last. And this stuff is definitely archival. It doesn't ever really completely dry. I mean, it's dry as far as we're concerned, but from a molecular standpoint, it isn't. They say that the molecules are always sort of staying in movement a little bit. That's what keeps it flexible. I swear by this glue. Love it, love it, love it. but it's not always accessible and easy for people to get. And because people talk so much about this Yes glue, and I noticed it was acid free, I wanted to try it, see how much I like it. And so I thought I would share the options with you guys today. So you're supposed to be able to put it on with a paintbrush. I'm gonna use this. And I always use my trusty bone folder because that's what I like to use to really flatten and get any air pockets and things out. Also, I ordered this Signo Uni Ball in white. I got this off of Amazon as well. I use these Signo pens like nobody's business in the black, and they have some jewel tones that are really pretty, like amethyst and ruby and things like that. And I can normally find those at Walmart, but I couldn't find the white. So I ordered this off of Amazon, and I think I got like 5 of them or 6 of them for $8, almost $9. So that's not bad because a pack of 5 of them at Walmart, I think, is almost $5. So that's not bad. And this right here, you can write over acrylic paint. It's great for the daily journaling that I do. And anytime, and like my language, my goddess text that I use and write over my work, oh, this stuff works so good. These are so great. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this today. So basically, that's all we need. A ruler. I like my steel edge ruler, but I also use this right here, which is it's a deckled edge ruler. So you have this size decal or this size, and then of course you have on the it's a triangle. So on this angle, you just sort of measure. I guess you could use it as a flat side, but it's a decal ruler, so it's designed to use these 2 edges. So you know, like when you want to rip and tear something, and you kind of want to have that edge on it, but you don't want it to look too like perfect, like the way those scissors do or something like that. I'll use this too. So sometimes I'll use this. So I have that out just in case I want to use it. That's basically it. So let's get started. I don't know how much I'll be talking while I'll do this, because generally I don't talk when I'm working. Like, I don't talk to myself, right? But anyway, just getting those things. So let's get started. So I'm going to get down on my work table here. So that looks like that's pretty good. You guys can see. So if you remember, these are the papers that I did last time. So let's just look through them. I want you to have a good look at these. Okay. Trying to get this so I want to leave my cord in. Sorry about this. Oh, knock anything. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So these are some of the ones that I did last time. You guys remember? Well, these I did before because that's on that old school paper. This is one. These are just a lot of those waste pieces. Remember, this is the off printing that I did with my wood blocks. I know a couple of you guys told me over on Instagram that you're waiting for your wood blocks to come in. I know today I spoke with, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't remember your Instagram name. Yikes. Anyway, you're waiting for your wood block to come in. So yay, these are so much fun. I got to clean mine, and I'll tell you guys how I clean it. This is another one of my wood blocks. I like this one too. This is one of my faves. It's already been cleaned. See, I periodically will clean the paint off of them, but this is a neat one too. Okay, so that's what these are. This is how I showed you how to pull a language or text or writing or whatever on your jelly plate. This is my quintessential wall pieces. So I'm gonna work from these. I'm going to decide. I know I'm going to work with that wall piece. I like this piece too. I like the fact that it already looks so like it's bleeding, and it's got a good foundation of paint down already too. So from that standpoint, it's a good starting place for something. So we'll see. But I think I'm going to start with this one here. And I'm going to work with these pieces. Let's start with these elements because I think it'll show you guys how a good starting place to work. goes back there. And then if I need to pull some other things, I will. So this would be my beginning surface. So I like what's going on here. It's kind of like a lighter green in there. I don't really like that. So because a lot of times I have a buildup, I can just scrape some of it off in places that I don't want to see things. Okay, so we're going to start with this. And my orientation is this way. So I'm looking at it. So this is how it would look. This is the orientation I'm going to be seeing. Okay, so you'll have an idea. So I'm going to have it flip this way. And I want to put this piece on top. Even the back of it's interesting. So you can see a lot through the back. So I'm going to go ahead and begin to rip this. This onion skin rips really nicely. I mostly like torn edges. I'm not the biggest on straight edges, but there are times that I do select to use straight edges in my paintings and in my work, because sometimes, you know, you can get a little bit too many of the ripped edges and it just looks a little contrived. And when I feel like my work is looking like contrived, like by that I mean like that's how I always do it, or it's too much of that element on here. That's kind of why I'm like, I stay away from a lot of splattering and stuff. Although I like accidental or occasional splatters, I don't really like just to create with a bunch of splatter everywhere, because I feel like what is actually being said by that? I mean, so I'm the same way. Like I'll do torn edges, and then maybe if I feel like I have too many torn edges, then I'll also put like a really clean straight edge in somewhere if I feel that's what's needed. So that tore off pretty good. So I'm thinking that I'm going to actually, I think I'm going to try to place that right about in here. I like to work higher on the page than lower. And I'm going to talk this through as I'm doing it so you guys can see. So ideally, because I have all this green space right there, I'd like to put this here. But because I think I want to see the page this way, obviously that's not going to look balanced. If I take and turn it this way, because I was actually thinking about this being the orientation, but maybe I should turn it this way. Because actually, see, I have more green up here. Then I can kind of get this up high the way I want it. That's a possibility. So I'm going to want to use this too. So I think, to my point of what I was just saying, I think I'm going to take and just tear this using the straight edge and just do it close. So I don't have that torn edge. And when I tear stuff, I really hold it down firm. And then I try to tear up. Like in this case, you see I'm tearing up against my ruler that way, because I had put it pretty close here and I didn't want to like tear it this way and then it tears into my design. So just keep that in mind when you are using and ripping your art. That's a good way. Now, because I can see this, I think I'm gonna lay it down like this. And then give a little bit of white. And I'm gonna tear it like that. Same thing. So we end up with this. Now remember, because this is on the onion skin, I'm thinking that generally when I use the PVA, it most of this will disappear. The paper, it'll kind of go transparent. So let's see if that's what's going to happen this time with this Yes glue. Like I said, I've never used, really haven't ever used this Yes glue. Okay. So a lot of that's going to disappear so I can see what's underneath it. So now this right here is going to be my basic layout. So then the question I'm asking myself is, do I want this down here and then it's going to cover a lot of the yellow and all this yummy wall stuff? Although some of it will go translucent. You're going to see some of it through there. Or do I want to take and turn this around and put this up here where I originally want it, so it doesn't cover much of that, but then all this green down here will get covered by this, which will become the pattern. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back to my original way because I do like it like this. And here, my inspiration for this is like a combination of like old walls, sort of like graffiti. It can also be, I also like am inspired by old manuscripts and documents and stuff like that that are aged, that maybe have been found, you know, in an old vessel. My work is very much informed by archaeology and things like that. Let me see, I'm looking for, what am I looking for? I didn't bring any waste paper over here to work on. Let me find something. Just to be able to glue on. So I'll use this. So, you know, I'm always sort of imagining, suppose this were in an old clay jug or an old book that was found, you know, deep in the caves of some place that was once an old library, something like that. What would those pages look like now? So that's kind of what I'm always thinking about. Like, that's my sort of inspiration. Okay, so we're gonna see, I'm just, so you can see, they say a little bit goes a long way. That's what it says on the jar. But what I want to do too is I want to make sure I kind of have the light shining on it, because I really want to see, because I want to get it all the way to the end, all the way to the edges. Make sure that you're really flattening it out and you're getting all these edges really good, because when I'm done with my art, I like it to all sort of look very integral. Like, I don't mind if it looks like it's been a collage element, but I also want it to look like it's very much a part, like they all, like they go together, like they've been living together for a long time. Okay, you see how strong this onion skin is, primarily because it has so much paint on it already. So I'm thinking that's probably, let me stand up, get my orientation right. That looks like a pretty good placement right there. Yeah. That's when I take the bone folder, and I really like to get it in there really good. And the bone folder is good because it doesn't ruin the paint finish. It doesn't scratch. You know, none of that. It's really good for, it won't tear your papers. Okay, so that's what we're looking like right now. And see how it really has appeared nicely, actually. So that's the first step right there. And let's see, I'm going to put this next page down. Now let's see, I don't know how translucent this is going to be, but like I said, we're working to see here. Now this piece has like the sticky glue on it. So generally what I'll do is I'll just open that up and go for another spot here. You guys can see, okay. Okay. The other thing is this is kind of, it's called Yes Paste. So it really is like a paste. So just, you know, you do kind of really want to thin it out just to make sure that you don't have any globs, and that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm going over it. I can pretty much see the light is shining on this. I can sort of see where it is, where you want a good layer. You just don't want any globs and stuff left behind. so that when you go to put this down, we want to have a nice flat adhesion. Just sort of eyeballing this, and it's pretty good. So I can see the layer underneath. So it looks like it could be starting to come through, but let's see. Looks like it could, you know, end up being translucent when it dries. And you can see I'm really working this paper, because once I put all this acrylic paint on this onion skin, where it normally would tear, it's not going to tear now because it just has so much paint on it. So far, that's kind of where we are. We have those three elements on there. And of course, we're not done. But what I want to do now is, because I want to see something here. I wonder if, let me try something. I wonder if I use my Tim Holtz. I think I've shown you guys them before, the stains. I have one that, let me see. So this one is the Forest Moss. And let's see. I have one that's stone. Where is it? Oh, this pumice stone is nice, but you know what? I also kind of have one that's called like an amber. Where is it? So I'm thinking that fossilized amber. So now let's use some extra paper. I kind of want to see what this is going to do. So now that I already have this down here, what I'm going to do is I'm just finding some similar paper to this one, because I think I want to just get some color going in there, but I don't want to just like obviously put it on here now, because I don't want to do something I'm not going to like. So let's take these. This one is fossilized amber. I love these. Distress Stains by Tim Holtz. So let's just see. This is kind of bright, but let's see what's going to happen. I don't want it to overpower my design. This one is pumice stone. This is one of my favorites. Pumice stone. See, it's a lot more translucent. Sometimes you can do one over the other. Like I'll show you what I just did there to knock it down. So that first color was really pretty bright, and then I just put a little bit of the pumice over it. See how nice and light that pumice is? And over this, it even knocked that color down some. And let's see what this, I like this Forest Moss too. But see, it's kind of a really dark green. So what I think I'm gonna do is use this pumice stone, because it's just light enough to kind of like, because now my thinking is this. You see how when I put this down, I really don't want these sort of raw edge corners there like that. Right there. I want to get this to integrate some more. So if I just start knocking this down some, I'm going to stop at a point so you can see how it integrates the print so nicely. It'll start pulling out the background color too, to the point that it's going to really just start blending in more. Can you see that already? Wow. See? Put it up here so you can see it. So you see how me just rubbing it on there has really just begun to make this disappear into there, versus the way it looks on this side. That just looks like, oh, it's glued on. Yeah, okay. So we're going to keep on working with this pumice. That's why I love these Tim Holtz, because they really do help you sort of integrate your prints. And if you're working on things like, and it's even making this wood block really pop. And I like to kind of gently wipe it off because I want this to just sort of be like a wash. I don't want to get too much. That's why I tested them on the other stuff. And just kind of want to rub this around. And then just kind of do it in, you know, circular fashion. You know, you got to do a lot of stuff, right? Because you don't want it to look like, it's just been rubbed on in one direction, or you want it to sort of look like it's integrating. And now I'm going to rub some up here because obviously I want all of this piece to just really sort of pop and also just really become like it all is designed to go together. And of course, I'm coming up on these edges some because this will collect. The color will kind of collect around the edges a little bit, sort of give it that, to highlight the torn paper edge. Yeah, this is good. So kind of once you know what you have going there, see how this really just integrated everything? So now this is popping more. I really like that. Definitely like that. So always make sure you keep like a little piece of the same paper that you're working on. Like I made sure that this is the same as this, so I could test, you know, my work. Last thing you want to do is go, even stuff that you use all the time. Like I use these three all the time, but I have to make sure I know how they're going to react on, let me put this in some water because I don't want my glue brush to dry out. Okay, that's there. I always have to make sure that I get the water that's my water bottle, not mixed up from the one I like to use for paint. Okay, so now while this is drying, because I can't just go with this white pen right on here because it's still drying. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna integrate this piece. But while I'm sitting here, this is what I normally will do. I'll go back over the pieces I put to the side and sort of figure, is there anything else that I want to see in here? Like I think I might want to use some of this. Because I like, this one turned out nice. Remember we did this the other day? This print, this is, you know, just obviously one of those motifs, but I can really see how I'm going to be able to tear this and put it back into something. I'll show you guys. Either I'll show you while I'm working or I'll show you a finished one. But I think what I'm going to try to do with this one, I know I want to put it somewhere. I might even work it. I might be able to work it across. No, I don't want to do the bottom because I'm going to end up tearing this. Because I'm thinking that I'm also going to, when I'm done with this, mount this onto some wood. I might put this with encaustics. I'm not sure. But anyway, I kind of feel like, I don't know why I feel like I want something else. I might just be okay as I am with this piece. Just like kind of let it settle, figure my way out. I feel like I want to put, I know what I'm thinking. Now, I don't know whether or not it's going to be what I want is the next question. Because where I'm hesitating is that, like, I like all of this here, and I like all of this. I'm not crazy about this edge here. See where I feel like I want something else there, but then I don't want to put something here and then cover all of this up. I know what I can do. Good old pumice. Maybe I'll just take some of this pumice and just kind of flush that area out just a little bit. Yeah, like that. Yep. See, I just flushed that out a little bit. Because what I'm thinking, and sometimes I turn it over and just get some of the extra off. Oh yeah, see how that did really good. See when I got the extra off, which I put over there, it just made this really faint, just added some faint color in there. Now all this border is going to end up being gone anyway, so I'm not worried about that because I'll end up tearing all of that off when I go to mount this piece. And I don't know if I'm going to actually mount it onto some printing paper like a BFK and frame it like that, or I may do the encaustics and actually mount this on a wood block. So anyway, I'll show you guys that process too. But in the meantime, let's just see how this pen is working. Like I'll start maybe like, see how I can work right over. So I can do some of my language right over the paint. I love this thing. Now this is how I'll begin to integrate. I want to do very small markings. I don't want the script to be really too big. And what I normally do is once I start that, then I'm just working. I start this right down over this print. And so what happens is that it also will make the piece just kind of disappear. In other words, it'll start blurring the lines from where something has actually been added, like this piece, and just kind of integrate it all into the page. Just as if this were an element and then someone started just writing a discourse over top of it. That's what I like about this white Uni Ball, because it's just so subtle, and but it still creates very strong color. And I think the idea of sort of the white text is, and so I'll come down into this one some as well. And it just kind of begins to integrate everything. And I just kind of start at different points at the top, not always right across. I kind of change the height, and I end off at different places as well at the bottom. Just, you know, depending on, it's kind of instinctive, but you know, your mind is working out the design elements and the concepts of stroke and mark making, even when you think that, you know, it seems so random. In a lot of ways it is, but I know that at the same time, it's like my right brain, my creative, intuitive self knows exactly what it's trying to do. Okay, so let's do another line here. See how this writes so well over all this acrylic paint and inks and stuff that we've been using. Okay, so you see how that looks? So now that language on top of this element that we put down, see how it just begins to really integrate? You guys see that? I mean, it really does. I love it. So what I'm gonna do with this piece is I'm pretty happy about how that integrated in there. But I just think that this right here is empty space. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll turn it and I'll start working sideways. So I'll just kind of just in this space. I'll put some of the language text. And it's funny because from day to day, my language text always is changing. It like really, it really is amazing to me. how it changes. So now I think I'm gonna run a line here too, because I want to just kind of integrate. You see how this looks now? So it's sort of all integrating. So I want a little something there. So what I'm going to do, but I think what I'm going to do now with that one is I'm not going to use the white. Maybe I am going to use the white. I'm going to use the white, and then I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do. I just want to, just I want to be a little bit more expressive in that area. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is take this transparent raw sienna, and I'm going to do my language with this in this area, but I'm gonna make it go over this whole area there to integrate it. Now I won't be able to lift it up because this will still sort of puddle and be wet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, let's lift it up now so you can see it, because I'm basically done with this right now. Can you guys see that pretty good? I know the light is really shining on. Let me just turn this light off a bit. That's because I have my floodlight on. I don't want the paper to shine anymore. So you see how it all just kind of comes together. You almost don't even know that I've glued, you don't even really know I glued a piece in there. And this is even starting to kind of meld in, and not that I want it to look, not that I care whether or not, even with this, you see how the text and everything really has integrated the old wall. So all of this is just really blending in nicely. But it's not so much that I really care about whether or not, turn this light back on. I don't mind that it looks like it's been glued and collaged on there. That's not the issue. I just want it to look, when I'm done, I want it to look like the elements were considered. Like, you know, we were thinking about all of this, and it wasn't just like, oh, I want to glue this on here. It's like it's a larger part, it's a bigger picture, you know, with what's happening. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to use this. But when I do, I can't lift it up again, but I will show you pictures. If not here, when I go to upload this video, I'll try to make this be the what do you call it? The image that the video opens up with. I forget what they call it, but anyhow, the image that this opens up with. And I'll also put this up on Instagram, which is @rarebirds. And I'll also put it on my blog. When I upload the video up over there, I'll have a picture of this there. And that's Your Creativity Coach by Robyn McClendon on .wordpress.com. A lot of you guys already follow me over there as well. But if you're not, go over there and follow me. Follow me at Rarebirds as well, because I try to keep up with things there. But it's just as simple. This is all the onion skin paper that we printed from before. So, and it's so beautiful. It just has a great hand to it. It's like, you know, like, it's not so precious either, because by the time we put this paint on here, it really has preserved it. So it just has a really nice feel to it. Oftentimes what I'll do too, and I'll show you this another time, but even with this onion skin, I'll take and crumple it. And even in itself, crumple, it becomes a really nice added element. Or I could have crumpled this before I put it down. And then when you glue it down, you get this really nice kind of feel to it. And even with this like this pumice stone, I could actually just come back and just sort of rub over this and catch the highs and the lows of it all. I'm not going to do it all right now, but I'm going to show you guys. Just kind of fold it on itself, so some of it can go over there. Because this is like the onion skin, it's not going to absorb the same way. But you see how that color has picked up in here? It's really interesting. So if you imagine if I just take this and do this all over this piece, it becomes a really nice piece to use in your work. So I like that about it. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this. So I really literally do my language with the stopper. I get ink up in the stopper and I just really just start painting with it. So See that? And that goes kind of like into the mark making part of it all. And I think what I want to do is right here. I'll put one right there to pull that together. You guys have seen in my work, oftentimes I'll do that. I'll just sort of like put one of the emblems, one of the language emblems sort of right on there like that. Now all of this, I'm gonna let it sit, but all this is integrated together. And so guys, that's pretty much my process when I'm in the studio. And I'll just like, I mean, I have like tons of these papers because I'm always printing. So like I still have the bottom part of that. I have this and I have all these sheets right there. And basically what I do, I'm just like collaging and putting these pieces together and then sort of thinking how I want to do them. Sometimes I'm using them as pages in books as I'm creating book structures, or I frame them, or I'll put these back in encaustic pieces. I mean, the sky's the limit. So I'm just constantly working and layering and taking that everything just to that next level. So, all right, so good. This is probably pretty short right now, isn't it? Which is good because I know sometimes we got to get on to the other things. And for those of you who are, it's like it says, I have 14 viewers, so cool. If you're on right now, I don't know how to make this thing live so that you guys could come in here with me. Yikes. I'm gonna have to figure that out because I don't really know how to do that. I know how to do it if I invite you, but anyway. So anyway, for those of you online, thank you so much for watching this right now. I'm going to get it up and going, and then I'll be back later. So see you. Thanks a lot. And from my studio to yours, it's at Rare Birds, Robyn McClendon, and we'll talk again. Take care. Bye-bye. I hope this helped. See ya.